Hi there and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dionne and here on this channel we talk about life, work and the everyday. So the last video that I shared, I started to talk with you a little bit about whether or not work is actually making you sick. If you didn't get a chance to watch that video, please do make sure that you go and check it out. This is part two where we continue our discussion on that. And just to briefly recap, we spoke last time about the things that are happening at work that could be actually impacting your health. And we spoke about things like stress, if you are burnt out, if you are anxious about various things. We also spoke about you're making poor nutritional choices and whether or not the long hours and heavy workload at work were leading to a degradation in your family life and in your relationships. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what to do if you find that your work is actually impacting your health. Now, the first thing that I would suggest that you do, and I've got, let's say, 4 things that I want to mention that are really important for you to do if this is actually happening to you. So the first thing that you're going to do is that you're going to make sure that you speak to your manager. Now, your manager is usually the first port of call if you're having a challenge at work, in that your workload is too heavy or you're finding that you're working longer hours than perhaps is ideal, and that this is impacting your wellness and in turn your ability to perform in work. Then speaking to your manager is, I would suggest, the best thing that you can do in this situation, because they can help you to look at how it is that your workload can be adjusted. Maybe if you're finding that you're not feeling very fulfilled because you're not working in a subject area that is really suited to your skills, and maybe they have an opportunity there to actually reposition you, move you onto another team where you are a better fit. So speaking to your manager can help you to work through these things. Whether, as I said, it is a workload issue, whether it is that you're not quite the right match for the actual work stream that you're actually working on. And then also if it is like a physical problem, maybe there's something to do with your workstation that might need assessing and adjusting, and again your line manager or your can help you to look into these things. So the other thing is speaking to your doctor. So of course, if your work is impacting your physical wellness, your mental wellness, your emotional wellness, whatever the reason is, whether it is, as I mentioned, some of the things that I said before, workload, your workstation not being ergonomically ideal, if some more time off would be really beneficial because you're burnt out and stressed, etc., etc., and all of this is having a very negative impact on your wellness, then of course speak to your doctor. Your doctor is there to help and support you, and if it is that they need to write you a note so that you can have some time off to recoup if that's appropriate, for example, or make certain recommendations to your employer or give you some advice on how to manage things, definitely speak to your doctor. It will be definitely worth the conversation. So firstly, speak to your manager. Secondly, speak to your doctor. Obviously, you don't need to do these in that order. The second thing I would say is that if you have the opportunity to have an occupational health assessment done in work, then by all means, make use of the facility. This is a discussion that you can have during your chat with your manager as to whether or not that is available and whether or not you want to take advantage of it. An occupational health assessment is one where a particular organization that is affiliated to your employer that provides this service will have a discussion with you, come in, have a look at your work area, and just have a chat about your wellness, your workstation, everything to do with how your health and well-being and your work are sort of moving in harmony or whether they are not, and will help to make suggestions as to how certain things can be remedied, and these will be relayed to your manager, and then you can have a discussion and take it from there. Now, they can only make recommendations, and we have to understand that not every recommendation is within the remit of your organization to take on, but if you don't ask, then you won't know what is available to you. Sometimes it may be as simple as we recommend that you have your workstation assessed. Maybe you need to have a footrest. Maybe it would be better for you to have a standing desk. All of these sorts of recommendations are very helpful and useful. And depending on what your circumstances are and what you share, then they are able to recommend things that are usually quite beneficial and helpful. So if that's a facility that's available to you, please do take advantage of it. The last one on our list is seeing a counselor or a therapist. Conversations with your manager may not always be the space that you feel the most comfortable in sharing certain things. And I think that especially when it comes to conversations with your doctor and with your manager, you need to be as open as you feel comfortable. And sometimes, to be honest, we might have to get a little bit uncomfortable too when we're sharing in order to get the best outcome for ourselves. But if you feel that this conversation with your doctor or with your manager is not really one that you want to completely open up and share, definitely speak to a counselor or a therapist. Also, counselors and therapists are a little bit different in how they serve you, but usually if it is a challenge that you're having which is linked to some sort of underlying issue or trauma or life history circumstance or something like that that you need sorting out, and you may not be able to get to the bottom of it yourself, and if all of that is spilling over into how you're able to function in work, etc., etc., and also in your home life, for sure, make use of a counselor or a therapist. So today we spoke about some of the things that you can do to help yourself if you find that your work is making you ill. And we're talking about illness both on a physical, mental, emotional level. If your work is just causing your life to be a little bit topsy-turvy and upside down, these are some of the things that you can do. So if you have any other suggestions about what it is that either you have done to help yourself in work when work has not been at its best for you, or if you can think of some others that I may not have mentioned, please do drop them in the comments below and let me know. So until next time, when we conclude with part 3 of this series on Is Work Making You Sick? Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.